All right, let's jump right into this explainer by tackling literally the biggest fear we all have in the crypto space. You know what I'm talking about, right? Centralized scams and having your funds completely frozen. So today we're doing a deep dive into an ecosystem called GNT, which stands for Give and Take. And right off the bat, their absolute unbreakable foundational rule is this: a 100% personal wallet real-time transfer principle with 0 coins remaining on a central server. This is absolutely crucial to understand. So what does that actually mean for us? Well, because there is literally 0 central server involved, the exact second a transaction happens, those assets are instantly distributed. There's no shady middleman holding onto your coins, and absolutely no withdrawal button that some bad actor can just mysteriously turn off. It is purely peer-to-peer, run entirely by mathematically incorruptible smart contracts. Okay, here's a quick look at what we're going to cover. 1. The start of transparency, 0 servers. 2. Wooism, the donate and hold strategy. 3. Automatic quantity adjustment via Oracle. 4. The 7-level compressed hybrid strategy. 5. The 204.6x theoretical maximum value. And 6. Completing the ladder of wealth. Let's get into it. Starting with Section 1. The start of transparency. 0 servers. Just think about the absolute danger of the old ways for a second. In those traditional centralized systems, you're depositing your hard-earned money into a corporate server, basically crossing your fingers and hoping they don't block your withdrawals one day. GNT flips this entirely on its head. Their smart contract directly and instantly sends funds to 10 personal wallets the moment you participate. It's essentially hard-coded transparency. Your funds are never held hostage. Moving on to Section 2. Woorism, the donate and hold strategy. So to really grasp why this ecosystem was built, we have to look at its core philosophy, which is called woorism. Now, woorism isn't just some nice, feel-good buzzword. It's an actionable, real-world safeguard for ordinary people who are trying to navigate this era of severe technological wealth polarization. In a world where automation is just hoarding all the wealth at the very top, woorism acts like an antidote. It completely shifts the focus away from isolated, greedy speculation and redirects it toward actual community solidarity and shared economic mobility. And here is where it gets really fascinating. This philosophy translates into a very specific core hybrid action. You donate less than half of your required coins, and you keep the rest safely in your own personal wallet. This is a real game changer. It completely wipes out that horrible anxiety of giving up all your assets, but it still fosters shared economic growth. You're actively ensuring your own individual asset safety while building unshakable trust simply because you maintain personal control of your assets at all times. Let's dive into Section 3, Automatic Quantity Adjustment via Oracle. Okay, so how does this whole system survive the crazy volatility of the market without completely pricing out new users? It all anchors around this number right here, roughly 28,000 Korean won. To put that into perspective, that's just the cost of a few cups of coffee. This specific fiat value ensures that the entry barrier remains permanently low, no matter how wild the broader crypto market gets. And the way they pull this off is through a mechanism called automatic quantity adjustment via Oracle real-time price linkage. It's mathematically brilliant. The smart contract uses an oracle to fetch real-world market prices. So if the coin price happens to double from 2.8 to 5.61, the oracle automatically and mathematically halves the required entry amount from 10,000 down to 5,000 coins. The fiat cost stays permanently locked right at that incredibly accessible 20,000 won mark. It ensures that new participants can always afford to join. Which brings us to Section 4, the 7-level compressed hybrid strategy. Now, instead of a long, drawn-out process that just leaves everyone totally fatigued, GNT utilizes this incredibly fast-paced 7-level compressed strategy. It's essentially an infinite loop of give and take, structured to help participants reach their goals way more efficiently. Breaking that down a bit, as you can see here, the first 5 levels move really quickly with a 3x multiplier, allowing you to use your personal assets to progress. But the absolute genius of this structure is the anti-whale mechanism that gets triggered at levels 6 and 7, where the multiplier compresses down to 2x. So the crucial point to take away here is that at those top levels, simply having a bunch of personal capital is no longer enough. You absolutely cannot just buy your way to the top of this system like you would in a traditional corporate ladder. No way. It strictly mandates a true give and take approach. You have to actually help your partners grow, relying entirely on team leadership and shared success to advance yourself. It perfectly blocks those massive capital whales from just coming in and dominating the ecosystem. All right, Section 5, 204.6x, theoretical maximum value. Now, we really have to be clear about this next part, because everyone looks at the numbers. This is absolutely not a guaranteed profit. Let's be real. Anyone promising you guaranteed profits in the crypto space is just straight up misleading you. Instead, this 204.6x figure is a mathematically modeled theoretical maximum value. It strictly represents your acquisition of qualification and opportunity to receive donations, assuming your specific 10-level matrix fills up completely. It's a ceiling of potential, unlocked entirely by your active participation. And there is a very natural engine driving that potential value. As users upgrade through those 7 levels we just talked about, it triggers what's known as a massive supply cliff phenomenon. There's a rapid, sharp decrease in market circulation because the coins are being utilized within the smart contracts. And naturally, this scarcity inherently supports the asset's underlying value from the bottom up. Finally, Section 6, completing the ladder of wealth. Let's see how all these pieces come together. It creates this unbelievable synergy effect. If the market value of the WOORI coin rises because of that supply cliff we just mentioned, it actually multiplies with your acquired matrix qualifications. So the combination of your structural opportunity and the rising market price creates a dual engine of growth. This can potentially lead to these massive estimated fiat valuations by the time you graduate from the system. It is literally structural mechanics meeting market scarcity. Stepping into this ecosystem is actually incredibly straightforward. First, you set up a decentralized wallet. Then, you secure some WOORI based strictly on what you are personally comfortable with, keeping in mind that amazing hybrid rule to donate less than half and keep the rest safely in your own personal wallet. Next, you execute that real-time, transparent peer-to-peer transfer. And finally, you simply need to invite 2 companions to fully unlock your qualification. That's the whole shebang. It relies on total transparency and shared mutual growth. So in a world that is currently dominated by centralized uncertainties, frozen funds, and just massive staggering wealth gaps, we really have to ask ourselves a serious question. Are you ready to take this transparent path to rebuild the ladder of wealth through the power of wordism? Is it time you embrace a mathematically sound, real-time shared economic community? A system where transparency isn't just a marketing promise, but is literally hard-coded into the system? It's definitely something to think about. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning out there.